Welcome to Come to the Brink. I'm Zoe Flowers, and this is a space for those of us navigating profound life changes like loss, trauma, caregiving, and transformation. It's about what happens when everything you thought was solid crumbles beneath you and you're forced to rebuild. If you've ever felt like you're standing on the brink, this is the space for you. Welcome. One of the things about spirituality, the way spirituality has been marketed, the way it's been shared, is that you would think that it will make you calm, peaceful, and happy all the time. But the things that many of us have had to overcome are so brutal that church alone, synagogue alone, temple alone, masjid alone, yoga class alone, sound baths, crystals, incense, mushrooms, LSD, weed. I haven't done ayahuasca, so I don't know. So I'm going to leave ayahuasca out because I've heard it's been able to turn some things around. But it's hard to get these things out of your system. And in one of my other bonus episodes, depending on when I drop this one, you will already have heard it or you will hear it. I talk about not really feeling like I've ever been happy. And that's so funny because I laugh a lot. And so many things actually do make me happy, but there's an undercurrent, right? And it could be my Capricornian placements, my Saturnian placements. You know, it could be part of my astrological makeup, because my astrological makeup, for those of you who do follow astrology, is quite dicey. And there's been quite a lot of challenges in my life. You've heard about them so far. And I guess because I don't really walk around like a mopey dope, you don't really know what people are going through, you know? That's why they say that. You don't really know what people have gone through. I am middle-aged. And the first half of my life was plagued with violence. Like, that is so wild to me. Like, I have a memory of being in a crib. Like, I was that small. And I remember my mom coming in the room and closing the door, and like my father banging on the door. I remember that. And I also feel like we had a conversation at some point where she was like, she just made the decision she was going to fight back like early in her marriage. Like, she wasn't going to just be like, you know. And so that's why it was volatile, because she was like, I'm not going to be just like, you know, you're not going to just be using your maleness against me. And so, yeah, I don't know how old children are when they are in cribs, but I definitely remember that. Like, and I've gotten a lot of hypnosis over the years, and my shamanic practice that I've been involved in since 2017, there's a lot of clearing of memories, and there's also this other practice that I did to clear memories. So there's actually things that I've wiped away from my memory which that might sound out there, but I did. You know, it wasn't trauma that made me not remember things, because I remembered things almost too vividly. And that was one of the things my mother used to say, was that I was too sensitive. And, you know, and my grandmother, I had went to a medium in Florida. This lady didn't know my family. She didn't know me. And my grandmother came through and she started talking, you know, my grandmother saying she was hard on me because I was so sensitive and she didn't want me to get, you know, knocked around in the world. And it happened anyway. And it started, you know, a lot of it happened in the house. But now I wonder, it's not even if I wonder, why are they always right? Oh my God. Why are they always right? Why are the old people always right? Probably because they live so long. My God, my mother is like right about everything. She said to me, "You're going to be sorry when I'm not here anymore." And I knew it was manipulation, so I just wouldn't say anything. But inside I'd be like, but I do. She's fucking right. I miss my mother so much. I'm so devastated. Oh my God. So she's right. But, oh God, old people are just so wise. And we just don't listen to them. But, yeah, I think, and this isn't saying like, I love my sensitivity. I do. Being able to merge with other people when I choose to is a superpower. But being so sensitive and so permeable is an issue. And that, literally, I was just making my coffee and I was thinking about this. I'm like, damn, girl, you're like the saddest, happiest person you know. Somebody should make that into a song. Maybe it's already a song. But it's because of my permeability. And because I can see and I feel what other people are feeling. And again, depending on when you hear this, I talk about this. I go into depth with this in my Who Does This Bitch Think She Is episode. Being able to feel betrayal, being able to really feel and understand that people don't like me. And what caused this, you know, it's the silliest things that inspire these ramblings. Literally making my coffee in my Canadian apartment, listening to this dude on YouTube talk about White Lotus finale, and he's just like this funny dude that I found today. He has such a soothing voice, and he was doing the review, and then he showed the girl with the teeth, the English lady. I don't know, because I only watched one episode, and then I was done with White Lotus this season. I thought it was just ridiculous, so I didn't even finish it. But I love the first two, but this one I just was like, no, it's a chop. So anyway, there was just like this scene, and there was something that was said, and I just was like, I love people. Like, I have these moments all the time where I'm just like, I'll just see something. I'll see people. I'm just so tickled by people. I'm so tickled. I'm so in love with, people, all kinds of people. Sometimes people will do stuff and I'll be like, oh, I just love that in a person. Like, I just love, even though it's so hard, I love the human experience. And there's just things that people do that I just love. And so I guess that's why I never, also, let's get woo-woo. You know, I've been here a couple of times, and it's so funny how people are like, oh, I don't believe in reincarnation. And then they say things like, that child was here before. Or I don't believe in astrology. And it's like, but fam, our days of the week are literally named after planets. And the planets, anyway, whatever. That's astronomy, but astronomy literally was born from astrology. So there's that. Anyway. But I just don't understand, like, racism and homophobia and, like, just on a very deep level, I don't understand it because I just love people. And I feel like that love is what causes me to be the saddest happy person I know. Because it just makes me so sad. Like, people can get betrayed, people can get cheated on, and they just bounce back and they're fine. Me? I mean, it took me years to come back out of my shell after my ex broke up with me on my answering machine. It took me years. I just was like, I'm not going to date. And I didn't date for years. Like, I never recovered. I never recovered fully. I still could go out in life, have a good time, obviously. Travel, beach, be with my cat, laugh with my friends. Like, I can still do all those things and have, like, immense joy, go to the park. But there's parts of me that, just never recovered. I mean, here I am. I guess the good news is it didn't fully stop me from doing the things that I wanted to do in life. Thank goddess, right? Like, I still did great things. But I wonder, have y'all recovered? When I post this, I'm going to need y'all to come to the comments and let me know if you've recovered. Have you recovered? Have you recovered from betrayal? Truly? Have you recovered from, if you've experienced abuse, have you recovered from that fully? If you lost your job, pushed out, fired, quit, hostile work environment, have you recovered? Like, am I the only one who feels the need to, and sadly do it publicly, unravel all the shit that's been thrown my way and then share it with other people? Like, that's so weird, but... And I know on some level it's helpful because when I wrote my book and I talked about my experiences so much and the experiences of other women who were abused, the more I did it, it was like it didn't happen to me. It's like it gave me some distance from it. It's like I had to write about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and write a play about it and do a movie about it. I mean, my movie's a little bit different, but it's similar. It's about wounding. So it helped me to get some distance. But now I'm thinking about this playwriting class that I went to in New York. And the teacher said, writing, when you write, you're trying, it's an itch that you can't scratch. Like, that's what art is. That's what writing is. There's this itch that can't be scratched. And maybe my itch is wounding. I've been flirting with this thing of grief is my brand. And again, this isn't something that, I mean, I don't know, you all will have to let me know, but this is something that I don't feel like I just like carry around. Like, hey, grief is my brand. And I don't mean that in like because we know what you focus on expands. So I don't mean to like, that should be embraced, but I feel like so much of my work is helping to help other people unload their grief. Like even when I think about my ritual work, at the end of the day, it's like the candle work that I teach, the connection to nature that I teach, all of those practices are about clearing energy and clearing your auric field, dare I say. And what the hell are we clearing it from? Grief, wounding, anger. Yeah, it's yeah. Yesterday I was laying in bed and I was thinking about all the things that happened to me. And I had even said this to a friend recently, that I used to say everything that I've been through made me, and I am where I am because of what happened. I used to say that, but I don't feel like that anymore. Like when I was laying in bed last night, I was like, yeah, I wish that never happened. These are my late night thoughts. Yeah, I wish none of that ever happened. Like, I feel like if none of that ever happened, I probably would be acting. I probably wouldn't be in Canada. I'd probably be in LA auditioning and acting. Maybe. Or maybe I would be a lawyer. That was something I wanted to do when I was a kid. Like, I don't know. I'm so shaped. And my sister talked about this on the podcast too. That came out on the 9th of April. That she looks at little pictures of the little girl and she has a genuine smile. And it was before the trauma. And so, yeah, I don't know who I would have been. I mean, maybe I wouldn't have wanted to act because so much of it, I'm going to talk with Ella J about this too. So many actors, painters, musicians, we come from these crazy backgrounds and our art is our salvation. And so, yeah, maybe I wouldn't have wanted to act. I don't know. But yeah, I wish it never happened. Yeah. Maybe I would have been the happiest, I don't know, fucking toll booth lady that you've ever met, or the happiest grocery store employee, or the happiest receptionist you ever met, if I didn't experience so much abuse in my formative years. But that didn't happen. That's not where we are. So grief is my brand. Grief is my brand. And so I say all that to say that when I think about my work and I think about my students who, I'm so proud of them, like, because they just come and they just like dove in, you know, the ones who really dove in and really did the things. They really are transforming. And it's not easy. And so this is, I guess I'm stopping the way I started. It's not easy, you know, just because you meditate, just because you do all these things, we still are unraveling things, even with the spiritual practices. And the spiritual practices, thank Goddess, I found them in my 21st year of life or 22nd year of life. Because if I didn't have those tools, if I didn't have that constant cosmic, CCC, that constant cosmic connection, if I didn't foster that, that channeling that I was doing at 11, when I would like tell my mom, you don't deserve this, like 11 years old, what am I talking about? Like I used to tell her, you deserve to be happy. Like you should do this, you should do that. And that's why they used to be like, oh, she's been here before. Because the things that I used to say were just wild. But thank goddess I fostered that. And that I've lived it now for 30 years. 30 years, I never turned my back on spirituality. Now, because I grew up in religion through my choice, my parents weren't, we go to church on Easter and the big holidays, but, I used to go on my own as a kid. I used to go to the next town. The church bus used to come to my town so I could go to church because I loved church. And I loved my best friend growing up. One of my best friends was Jewish. And I loved going to synagogue. Like I went to his bar mitzvah. I went to his brother's bar mitzvah. I just love spirituality and I loved religion. And so because I was so steeped in that, there'd be moments where I'd be like, oh my God, crystals are the devil. So I'd throw all my crystals out and I'd throw all my like rap tapes out. And, I wouldn't meditate or anything. Cause I'd be like, oh, it's the devil. And then, finally I came to an understanding because I like history about these things and how these things came into place. How these beliefs and these ideals came into place. And so I was able to just like accept this is the path for me. The spiritual path is the path for me. Being connected to nature is the path for me. But if I didn't have those tools to fall back on and the spiritual leaders, like the before Ayanla Van Sant, the before Ayanla and Deepak and Dr. Wayne Dyer, my early teachers, Florence Scovel Shinn, The Game of Life and How to Play It, the early folks, reading those people in my 20s, Ayanla's first book. If I didn't have those, if I wasn't grounded in those, I probably would be the saddest person. I probably would be the saddest person. And yeah. And maybe I've been asking my guests what's one thing they grieve and one thing they're grateful for. And maybe I'll add this to the story times. Maybe I'll end my story times with these. We'll see. But if I think about one thing I'm grieving today, I would say it was the unknown. The unknown me. The unknown person. The person who had my original name before I went and changed my name because I felt like I had to because of the abuse that I experienced. The unknown, who I would have been, that might be something that I'm grieving. And I mean, grieved, not grieving. I'm not like actually grieving that actively, but as I cast my gaze over that question and look over my life, as the people say, I would say that's one thing, right? It's not something I think about every day. It's not something, probably just because of my situation now, because of this podcast, because I'm in this grief conversation. That's why I'm saying that. Again, not something that I'm carrying every day. You don't need to worry about me. Okay. So yeah, the unknown, the person I would have been. And one thing I'm grateful for, the person I am. My fortitude, my optimism that lives alongside my grief, my, maybe that's because I'm a Libra too. Maybe that's it too, right? I have the grief on one side and the optimism on the other side, and I'm like, trying to find equanimity between the two and trying to find ratio there. But yeah, so I'm grateful for my fortitude. I'm grateful for my humor. I do think that there's something that trauma for some of us gives us a very specific type of humor that I love. Like, I love my sarcasm. I do love my skewed view of the world. Like, loving people and at the same time understanding that so much of the game is rigged. Like, I love that part of my personality. So yeah, so that's what I'm grieving. That's what I'm grateful for. And if you've made it all the way through this rambling, drop me a comment and let me know what you're grieving and what you're grateful for. And send me your stories because you might be featured in one of the upcoming interviews. All right, y'all. I'm Zoe Flowers, and have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye.